This is my audience, Justin, Laura, and Derek. Festivals are a big anticipated part of many cultures, with many having expanded way past their origins. Some may participate in a festival that's history is significance they might not even entirely understand. This being why it can be good to learn more about the holidays and festivals you celebrate, as many often have an interesting history and impact on our modern world. That's why today I'll be briefly discussing Oktoberfest, its history, connection to both German and especially Bavarian culture, and its significance to the modern world as a cultural festival celebrated internationally. Now, I don't have any personal experience with Oktoberfest. I have researched its history, traditions, and cultural significance with several academic and professional sources. So that said, I'll first be discussing Oktoberfest's historical origins. Second, I'll explain how the festival is culturally significant, displaying Bavarian traditions as well as connecting to German culture. And lastly, I'll go over the festival's modern significance and global impact. Oktoberfest began as a local Bavarian celebration and is not anything like its modern day common interpretation as a beer festival. As stated by GermanHistoryDocs.org, Oktoberfest started out in 1810 as the celebration of marriage between Crown Prince of Bavaria Ludwig and Princess Therese. The celebration took place in Theresienwiese, with Theresienwiese being named after Princess Therese. Over time, Oktoberfest expanded and was at times affected by historical events. What began as a royal wedding celebration eventually grew into a reoccurring folk festival involving food, music, entertainments, and beer tents. Although often seen as a rather innocent celebration as it started and is in the modern day, it did have its dark moments in history, as stated by German history docs. Oktoberfest was used to spread Nazi propaganda in World War II before being paused until eventually resuming in 1949. Now understanding Oktoberfest's origin, we can look into its cultural aspects. Oktoberfest could be best understood as being a Bavarian cultural festival, having become widely associated with larger Germany as a whole. In her master's thesis, Evelyn Eddinghaus explains Oktoberfest as giving Bavarian locals a public celebratory stage to display their traditions and reaffirm their regional identity as being distinct from that of the rest of their nation. This distinction being said, however, people often associate German culture with that of Bavaria, when, as said by the collector, thinking of things such as beer tents, Bavarian music, as well as lederhosen and dirndls, a type of cultural clothing known as tracks for men and women respectively, thus making the Bavarian tradition Oktoberfest also an international symbol of Germany today. Besides traditions, Oktoberfest is also made significant due to its scale and influence today. As touched on before, one of the reasons for Oktoberfest's significance is it's bringing international attention to Bavaria and Germany. The collector reports Oktoberfest is bringing in more than 6 million people each year to Munich to partake in the festival's cultural activities. In addition to this, German Culture Docs describes Oktoberfest as having been developed into the world's largest folk festival, a far cry from its niche beginnings in 1810. Its popularity leading to cultural preservation as well as Germany's generalization. On one hand, Oktoberfest helps preserve Bavarian traditions by keeping them alive today, and on the other hand, its popularity can lead to the simplification of German cultural symbols into things such as beer and tracts, to name a few. Today, Oktoberfest is significant due to how it's grown from a local marriage celebration in 1810 all the way to a major cultural festival representing Bavarian traditions, influencing Germany's cultural identity, and drawing an international attention. This development unfolding as we first looked at its origins in 1810, and next looking at its display of Bavarian traditions and connections to German culture, And lastly, influence on German culture, on the German cultural identity upon spreading into the global theater. In conclusion, while undoubtedly a fun festival, Oktoberfest is much more than that. It's something spawning from a historical event occurring more than 200 years ago and evolving into a widespread yearly tradition that's come to influence the perception of Germany's cultural identity, as well as preserve all of Bavarian traditions. It's because of hidden histories like this that should encourage people to learn more about the things in their lives in which they participate, as it can often reveal fascinating things and lead to a deeper appreciation.